Hello, and welcome to my documentary entitled Mental Health Disorders and, well, Me. As some of you know, many of you don't, I have both bipolar disorder and Asperger's. The bipolar was diagnosed when I was 12, and I was recently diagnosed with Asperger's, actually in the last few months. And it's affected me my entire life. Uh, the Though it affects almost everything I do, for the purposes of this documentary, I'm focusing on interpersonal communication and how, because of the fact I have these two disorders, the way I perceive the world and the way people perceive my actions is greatly skewed. So, how does that make you feel, Adam?
Well, gee, it doesn't, Doc.
So, Adam, why the hostility? That was a pretty vague, innocuous question. You know, he's obviously just trying to get you to talk. I'm very glad you asked me that question, Adam, because the issue and the whole problem is the word vague. When you have Asperger's, vague is a concept you really don't deal with well. You need structure to even be able to think. And then the question is, how do you feel? And the issue with how do you feel is I don't feel much. So without structure, you don't really have any way to answer the question. And so inherently you get defensive. You almost feel attacked. So if we're going to start anywhere, we're going to start on the home front, right? Having this particular combination of mental health issues made it obscenely hard on my parents to raise me. The traditional parenting techniques didn't work. Just simply, pointing at something and instructing me how to do it, I didn't understand it because I didn't understand the why. Without the emotion inherent in most human beings, all I ever operate on is the question why. So, at the age of 7, clean up your room. Well, why? And they couldn't relate that to me because both they didn't understand that they should, and I wasn't old enough to really understand what they were describing to me. Now, that's a representative example. It really went for all of my interpersonal communication with my family. That they would get frustrated that I wouldn't understand, and I often didn't even understand that there was a problem, and therefore didn't understand why they were angry with me. But Adam, that was really important to them. Why didn't you make that a priority?
Simple, it was never important to me.
I mean, Jesus, Adam, you really came off like an asshole right there. All they wanted you to do was just, get something done for them. The issue is that I did answer the question right. I answered it very literally. It was not important to me. It does not mean that I do not care. It's that the importance that they put on the actual task never registered to me. Because I don't have that sympathetic response, when they go, hey, I really need you to do this to me, all I get are the actual words, hey, I really need you to do this for me. I don't understand that there's a lot of meaning behind that, a lot of desire behind that. All I get is the literal context of what is said. So when it came time to enter the workforce, this communication issue created a whole host of other problems. And that is this: when your boss communicates with you, he relies on him asking you to do something and you getting it done. It's as simple as that. And the issue with me is priorities. Your boss has a list of priorities of things he needs to get done. I have different priorities that are basically set up because of the way I think. So if he comes in and he asks, well, why didn't you sweep the floor? In my mind, number one on my priority list is, well, I need to stay by the cash register so that, customers would be helped. This is very important, isn't it? That's the paramount thing I do. Well, I still needed the floor swept. And I'm like, well, I understand you did, but you didn't give me any context as to why I should be doing this. And the problem is, without context, I wouldn't do anything. Because I couldn't rely on their emotional cues to make, that they would give me to make that seem very important. But Adam, you don't have any reason to think that these kids don't like you.
I have plenty of reasons, you just don't get it.
Once again, totally flippant. He's just trying to get you to think constructively about what you're telling him. But the issue is here, about after years and years of getting the same questions, the issue is no therapist, no other person ever gets the fact that, yes, I do have reasoning as to why I think this person dislikes me, or I do have reasoning why I think it is the way it is. The issue is, though, because I have bipolar and because I have Asperger's, that my thought process is completely alien to anyone else. And if I try to describe said thought process, they inherently just don't understand. Throughout my life, I've been basically terrified of people. And it's because I often don't understand what they want from me. It was far worse when I was a kid, but even now I still have difficulty from it, and it led to me becoming a very angry person in life. You have enough people, demanding, asking, whatever it may from you, and you not understanding why, you not understanding their motives, just because you operate differently than them. And so that brings me to my final metaphor, and that is if the rest of the world is a Mac, right? A very user-friendly Mac, got a lot of great programs to help you figure things out quickly. I'm a really stripped-down PC. I've got to install my own hardware. I got to install my own programs, and so my learning are kind of those programs that are compatible with each software. But at the end, they both just simply process things differently.